Hey y'all, what's poppin'? It is Saturday night. It's ladies' night all up and through knowledge and relationships. I hope y'all are ready for a good night. But as usual, got to give a little disclaimer, we got to set the ground rules around here. So, welcome to Ladies' Night. You are at Club Q on the corner of knowledge and relationships. We are here to have a good time. No fuss, no muss, no shenanigans, okay? Look, we're just here to get our sip on, get, vibes right, share a good time and conversation, grown up style. So, anywho, I got security on deck. So, anybody get out of pocket, it's OV. So I hope you come to have a good time and not waste your money and your time. Without further ado, there may be some random sober karaoke, so just stay tuned for that too. Anywho, let's get into it. I want to bring my guest in. I'm so happy to have Mrs. M3, my regular smuggler
Yeah,
ride. We ain't done. Mrs. M3.
a lot of questions on the way. No, thank you. I kind of
How are
got.
you doing tonight, ma'am?
Doing well. Thank you so much in this triple digit heat. It's good though. Today was better than triple digit. I think we had like a 80s somewhere, high 70s.
Oh
So
wow,
it
no,
cooled
yeah,
down
that's
today
definitely better.
and overcast too. So yeah, might rain.
Alrighty. And then we have a newbie to the panel, one of my nephews. I adopt everybody. One of my nephews, Mr. Mike Thomas, Mr. Art of Lingo himself. How you doing? You gotta come off mute.
Yes, Lord. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me. Very blessed. Very blessed. I'm excited to. Okay. Okay. You go. Okay. Am I good?
Hmm. Yes. There might be a little
Okay. Can
lag.
y'all hear me?
Okay.
Everything all right?
Yes. Okay. It might be a little lag on his end, but uh, all right, well, we're gonna get to going with our questions. So round one, I had some cute little graphics done up, but didn't figure out how to load them, so we're just gonna roll on with it. So the first section is let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Hope we don't get copyrighted. We don't get sued for
Disclaimer,
that little bit.
disclaimer, fair use.
We don't get sued for that little bit. All right, so let's talk about sex. One, now I wish we had some men on the panel who could jump in. Hopefully, Mike comes back. Um, Women, or from your experience, Mrs. M3, you may have been a not this kind of lady, but do you feel that men pull back? And I asked this question because I had a conversation with my brother. Oh, we got some. Oh, shoot. Oh, snap. I keep. Okay, I'm sorry, people in the background. That's my fault.
Welcome in.
Okay,
Mr.
my
Radio
fault. I'm
100, welcome
sorry.
in.
Hi, welcome. So here's another one of my podcast industry fellas, friends, family, Mr. Radio. How you doing?
I'm in there. I'm in there. How you ladies doing tonight?
We're
Good, good. Thank you.
wonderful. I should say Mr. Radio 100. I'm sorry.
No,
Do
Mr.
you?
Radio's fine. You don't have to go through all that. That's fine. You good?
And you're right on time because we're just getting started. About to ask the first question.
Okay.
Okay, so since you're a man, do you feel that men pull away from women when they make it too easy? We're adults here. It's Saturday night. Um, when women make the chase, the giving the nookie too easy, are men quicker to pull away because they're like, I didn't even have to work for it. So I'm like,
Not necessarily that. You have to consider the caliber of the man that you're actually dealing with.
okay,
Most guys, especially if they're younger, they're gonna want it easy. So they're not
okay,
gonna look at it like that. Now, as far as the initial setup of it, yeah, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna be happy about it, but then they're gonna go back and think about it later on, and they're gonna look and be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have went for this in the first place.
okay,
That's the thing that you got to look at. It's not the initial, make them fight for it and all of that stuff. Once you become an older man, then you look forward to the fight. You look
oh, okay,
forward to actually using your skill set to actually say, hey, okay, I can get this female. Okay, oh, all right. Oh, she has a brain. Good. Now I can use a little bit of strategy. I got to use mouthpiece. I got to use skill. The whole courting thing is played out really and truly,
is
especially
it?
with the younger generation. So,
Oh,
they don't know what it is to actually woo the female
okay,
nowadays. So, like I said, it depends on the caliber of man, and then you got to look at the age bracket that you're dealing with. And then, like I said, as they get older, they're gonna look at the female later on and say, maybe I shouldn't have jumped in this so fast.
okay.
That's usually how they go with it.
Alrighty.
Mm.
So Mr. Best, Mr. Intellectual, welcome.
Woo,
Definitely love to get your take on it.
how you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is M3
Hey,
QB. What's
hey.
going on, Mr. Radio? Thank you for gracing us with the panel, brother. Appreciate you.
100, no problem.
Shout out to Jeezy. Jeezy, I see your perspective. Very
Yeah.
very interesting, and I'm not surprised that you said that. I will say this, right? When we are young, everybody just wants to be pleasured, right? It's not a man thing only. Women too,
Mhm,
right? Because
mhm.
we're
Okay.
young. We're gonna go to the first thing that we want to do because now we're young. We got a couple of dollars in our pocket. Our parents can't tell us what to do no more. I'm chilling. I'm doing whatever I want, and I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Once you get away from your folks, and now
Yeah.
you're able to experience life on your own, it's a wrap. Like
Honey.
I mean, ice cream every day. You know what I mean? Whatever I want to do, I'm staying up late. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You know what I mean? That's just a young person. That's just how young people move, right?
Mhm.
And it's the same thing when it comes to pleasure, right? So of course we're gonna go to our natural instincts when it first comes to pleasure because we're young. You know what I mean? We're not really thinking of the outcomes of things. But as you get older, right, and you actually start to understand what love is, what relationships is, what true intimacy is, you want to start connecting with those who really want to connect with you. You just don't want to
Okay.
just connect meaninglessly. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, the meaninglessly stuff is happening all the time between both men and women, right? It's just, the college days and all that. You know the stories, the parties and all that. We all know what's going on when you between that age, I would say from 18 to about 24, right?
Yeah.
Little 25, I'll throw that in there. But about from 18 to like 25, right? It's on, right? We know what time it is. Now once you get over 25 and you kind of start to develop yourself, develop your career, you actually have to have a career, right? Probably during that time once you get out of college. Now, yes, you want to have more stability, right? Because now you actually and sometimes you may still be partying a little bit, right? But now you actually have to work and there's really bills and your parents may not be giving you the same amount of money because now you got your own money. So yeah, things change a little bit, right? But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you know, with the more experiences, the more perspective we have, it's gonna change how we feel. But don't get it twisted. Ain't nobody out here denying pleasure. Okay, like and let's just be honest. Like nobody's denying pleasure. There ain't no man that's gonna deny pleasure, and ain't no woman that deny pleasure. If you are, no matter what gender you are, if you are, if you like the same gender, or if you like, you like kind of being intergender, you're not gonna deny pleasure. But I'm specifically speaking to just man and woman relationships, right?
Okay.
Men and women are to me naturally, hey, you know what I mean? What's going on, family? Lola in the
Mhm.
house. Men and women are naturally, we're naturally attracted to each other, right? At least in my eyes, right? So, my thing is, as a man, I don't put myself in certain situations with women, right? And I don't do that not just because, I'm in a relationship, right? But it's the fact that I don't like men in that way, right? I'm not attracted to men. I'm attracted to women. So of course I'm not gonna have no woman just sit on my lap. I'm not gonna have no woman just give me a hug and her boobies all touching me. I ain't having none of that, right? Because I am attracted to women. So there's gonna be boundaries that I have with women, right? So that's just how it is. And I think men and women both have to just be honest about their attraction levels, right? You know what I
Okay.
mean? If we are naturally attracted to something, then you got to have boundaries. You know what I mean? You got to have different criteria. You're going to have different criteria as you grow up. And yes, men, we do. I hate the stigma that men don't care about women and all we just want is just to be pleasured. Nah, we care. We care because we got feelings too, especially when we really care about you, right? And we really want to feel who you are as a woman, not just physically, but we want to feel that feminine energy. We want to talk to you. We want to smell your hair, all that. You know what I mean? We want to smell your perfume. We want to be a part of who you are as a woman. We want to be about part of your essence. We want to taste your food and all that. You know what I mean? Like we want to feel that womanly energy. You know what I mean? Have great conversations. We want all that, and it's the same thing that y'all want from us. Y'all want to feel it, but y'all want to feel our masculine energy, right? You want to feel our strength. You want to feel our muscles. You want to you want to hear the deepness in our voice. Ooh, I like his voice. His voice is so he sound like a man. You know what I mean? Like y'all want that too. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
So it's
you
both
want to
on
touch your
both sides.
muscles?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quiet. It's both on both sides, right? So we both want to be cared for. We both want to be pleasured, and we both like intimacy on all levels. So it's not just a man thing. It's everybody. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I definitely want to welcome our other guests, our ladies on the panel.
Yay.
We have Queen Forever, my bestie. How you doing,
What's up?
girl?
What's up?
Hey, hey.
And we have
BFF in the YouTube streets.
what's up? And we also have Lola, Miss Oshun Possible. How you
Hi,
doing?
Lola.
Scully.
She in there?
Is she hearing me?
You gotta unmute, Lola.
Okay. Well, hopefully she will jump in the conversation. But I need to back up a little bit because I forgot to do the vibe check and what you sipping. See, this is a sipping chat. So I am drinking a bubbly water. Not gonna say the name because they're not paying us strawberry water. But if they want to drop off some dollars to sponsor us, they go ahead. But that's what I'm sipping on tonight. So, Queen, what you sipping on?
I'm sipping on some cucumber mint lemon water.
Now that sounds refreshing. Mrs. M3, what you sipping?
Pina colada, sparkling water.
It's
Ooh,
it's it's too hot
Zero
to sip on
sugar.
nothing else out here. Sure.
It is so hot. Today is better than all the days I was saying.
Yeah,
Today is
man.
actually a
We need to
cooler day.
rain. It really needs to wash some water over us.
Yeah, buddy.
all right.
Anyway,
Mr. Best, what you drinking? Sipping.
Just water, just water. That's
You
it.
for boo. Okay. No,
he
No
boring.
flavors.
no flavor. Just
He
no bubbles, no
boring.
flavor, no
Healthy,
nothing.
health.
He
All right, Mr.
boring.
Radio, what you sipping over there? Hope
Well,
yours
shoot, if
is
that was
something.
boring, y'all really gonna hate mine then. See, I'm sipping on filtered water from my refrigerator and a roast beef sandwich. Thank you very much.
Cooling.
Sipping on scissors.
Oh God. And Lola, are you with us?
There she is.
Yes, hi
Hi.
everyone. Yes, I am with you guys. I'm honestly just sipping on some iced tea, just cooling
Oh,
out.
That's
all
right.
right. And I definitely want to give a shout out to City Girl Jeezy. I wasn't ignoring you. I'm sorry. And I'm having
Welcome
to
in, Scotland.
She says men don't care as long as they getting a nah. So thank you for that. And then M3 talking about he's sipping on the scissor cough syrup. Like you got a cold or something, but
You better stop drinking that Robitussin. I done told you. You sipping on Testy. You better stop.
oh
You
God.
better go check on them, Mrs. M3.
For real.
All
Back
He got a
there.
straw in the bottle.
all
Mm-mm.
right. So we're gonna move on to the next question, ladies. There will be some that are specifically catered to you, but I really want to get the men's opinion here. Okay, so men often talk about sex like it's just something on their chore list, their to-do list. Men, what say you? Why do y'all talk about sex like it's just another thing to do? Or not you all specifically, but maybe at some point in your life you had that attitude. But and
Go
this is
ahead.
not picking on men, night. This is just we want to hear your perspective.
Go ahead and chime in, Mr. Intellectual. You let him hear the young men's opinion, and I'm gonna give you mine.
He ain't young. No,
Oh,
just
most definitely. I'm
Yeah,
here.
please
I'm the
subscribe,
oldest
Poloniex.
person in the damn room, so everybody younger than me in here.
um, Shout out to Cole and Nix. Good to see you, family. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Definitely. Whoever's watching too, if you haven't already, please get the likes up, like, subscribe. You almost at that
okay.
900 mark.
That's
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Which means we closer to that 1K. You know what I mean? Once we get that 1K, y'all already know what time it is. You know what I'm
Cause I
saying?
need my money.
Oh man. Oh, and I'm not even gonna go there with you. Anyway, it's not that it's a sport or anything like that with us. I think it's just a natural fact that like we are naturally assertive. We have testosterone, right? So it's in our hormone element. Like we're not approaching it the way you're approaching it because we don't have that motherly gene, right? We have the fatherly gene. So the fatherly gene is there to mass create. You know what I'm saying? It's there to get it in. You know what I'm saying? Because we here to, get it going. You know what I mean? In a different aspect. Now, like I said, women want to get it going too. So I'm not
oh
for the
yeah.
women out there. I'm not saying that y'all don't want to get down for the get down. I'm not saying that. All right. So GZ don't come at my head. I know GZ like, yeah. So you know what I mean? Nah, women like to get down for the get down too. But what I'm saying is this, right? At the end of the day, it's different for men. You know what I mean? Because we operating off of testosterone. So testosterone is just a more assertive element. It's a more assertive gene. It's scientifically proven. You do your research. It makes us more assertive. It makes us. Some of us have toxic masculinity with that, right? We let our testosterone level get a little too high. You know what I mean? And the pride is just a little too much, and we become aggressive instead of assertive, which is not good. I always implore men to be assertive, not aggressive. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you're assertive, a woman understands where you at. She understands your intentions, and you letting it be forthright. But you're not basically forcing it upon her. You know what I mean? You're giving her a choice, and she's either with what you want or she's not. And if she's not with what you want, cool, good. You know what I mean? Let her move to the side so you can get to somebody who actually is.
I almost had a
You can
flashback
keep it
moment.
moving. You know what I'm saying? You can keep it moving. You know what I mean? Listen, a no sometimes is the best answer. Let me tell you,
Mm.
brothers. The no is sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time. A no is the best answer for you. Okay? That allows you to get her out the way and stop wasting your time and hers.
Okay.
Okay? That's the best answer you can get. Right with the yes. They both are great answers. You know what I mean? Yes, the power of no. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Want to
because
say
that's
hello?
how the Me Too movement started. Cause
Mm.
y'all don't understand no.
No, they don't understand no. So
All right. Want to say hello to Cola Nix? Thank you for joining us. Okay, Mr. Radio. What says you is you
So,
know
so your initial question was just that
what's a
men just feel
statement?
that sex is just a thing to do.
Like you just okay. I washed dishes. I took a bath and I had sex. Like
Nah, I mean you making it seem like that you in a 25-year marriage that didn't work out worth a damn. It's just like, oh no, I got to go holler at this broad again. Damn, but no, it's not. It's not like that. Here's the one thing that you got to realize. What I realized, and not all men realize it. It don't matter. About sex is sex. We gonna want sex no matter what. So that's gonna be there. But the thing is, you have to understand and appreciate that woman for who she is. Because if you don't, sex is just that. Because like I said, one of the first things that turns me on about a woman, I mean, yeah, if she's fine as all outdoors, that's fine. But if she's about as intelligent as a bag of rocks, you can go. I can't even deal with that. Intelligence turns me
ooh,
on more than everything else. And then the thing is, you got to realize it's not about you all the time. All right, I'm gonna get a little explicit right here. So get your buzzers and beepers ready and all of that stuff. Men can stand outside in the wind, hold your dick out in the wind, and then just let the wind run across, and we we good to go. We 500. It don't take much for us. The thrill of the damn chase is, can you get that woman off? Do what it takes to get her going. Make her have 2, 3, 5, 7 back-to-back orgasms. The wet, all that there. I told you I was gonna come wrong with it. I told you that when you asked me on. I told you. I'm just saying. I told you I wasn't gonna hold back now.
5 to 7.
Why not?
My life.
I mean, that's the thing about it. It doesn't take that much for. I'm the type of guy. I like to give pleasure to the woman. That's the challenge. That's the challenge.
What the rest of y'all
Can I get her off? Can I make her snap? You know what I'm saying? What is it gonna do to make her toes spread like this? You know, make it look like crow knuckles and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get. And that's the real thrill of the chase right there. Can you please your partner to the point and then still be there? And then, when she wants to cuddle, give her that cuddle time real quick. It's not a problem. I mean, the main thing that they want is time and attention. And women are not hard. If you shut the fuck up and listen, they're going to tell you exactly what they want. All you got to do is listen. They're going to tell you what they want. It ain't hard to deal with. But now you talking to somebody that's 5-0 in the game. And then I've been in a successful relationship for over 20 something odd years. So I know how the shit work.
Okay. All right then. Well, thank you for schooling us.
Just give it. It's an opinion. You can take it and use it. It works. But if you don't think that's the way for you, don't follow it.
All right. I want to say what's up to Gator Girl 04. Peace. Y'all listening in while watching the Gators play Kentucky and Nursing a Broken Heart. Well, I hope that you get some laughs out of tonight, because I hope to keep it funny, keep it, hype. And she says, appreciate the honesty. She said, a 5 to 7 will have you going crazy. Baby, look, if you give me 5 of anything, I will be up cooking. What you want, what you need, how you doing? You need, you need a car need washing? Baby, anyway. Look.
Shout out to Gator Girl. Gator Girl, what up, girl? You know what I mean? Who messed with my Gator Girl? I'm going to go get him. Gator Girl, tell me what it is. I'm coming to get him right now. I'm coming to get him right now.
Look,
Gator Girl's our day one supporter. We love Gator Girl, for real.
Oh, God. Colin Nick says, yes, we tell them everything. It's a matter of them not wanting to do the work. Yes, we talk all the time, but y'all kind of do this right here. And we're usually telling you a lot in it, which y'all think is nonsense. But anyway, we're going to move on. It's not beat up on the guys' night. All right, ladies, let us join this conversation. Do you feel that sometimes we are too connected when it comes to sex? Like, we put more value on the act of sex, where we feel like we have to carry ourselves in a certain way to be valued. And so that's why we hold out a little more now. Not all women. I went through a stage in my life where I was like, no strings, I don't care. That was way back then, but different now. But I'm just saying, overall, in general, do we as women have a deeper connection because of the value that we place on sex? And we're going to start with Lola, since you are newer to the panel, or new to me, I'm sorry. Are you with us?
Okay, yes, I'm with you guys. I don't know what's going on with my mic button, but to answer the question, it's kind of yes and no.
Okay.
Because there's a biological component to it that nobody can really get away from, in that the risk of, let's say, just period, the risk and everything that is really more so on the woman as it pertains to sex. Now, obviously, as it pertains to other things in life, that can shift to the risk being all on the men. But when it comes to sex, most of the risk is on the woman, just by nature of her position naturally. So yes, in that sense, yeah, you women innately have to be more conservative just because. But no, in that it is a choice, right? To do
Okay.
this. Not like we're doing it and it's just instinctual. We're making a conscious choice to do this based on our knowledge of our culture, our species, and then our general way. So no, I would say we place value on sex and relationships differently based on what we need out of them. Some women need provision more than they need emotional support. That's a very personal thing. So therefore, the choice is going to reflect that. So a woman, let's say like Trump's wife, she might not put any value on the sex with him because it's all on the provision part.
Okay.
Versus, let's say, someone like, I'm sorry to juxtaposition this, someone like Michelle Obama. We can kind of look at that relationship and tell that there's probably more emphasis placed in the emotional connection than the sex in that relationship. And I'm only using them because everybody knows them. I don't want to use people don't know. But just intuitively, we can kind of see, so to speak, like what that's hitting for. So that's why I would say yes and no.
Okay. Thank you. Real quick, want to read Gator Girl's comment. And thank you to Nightbot and everyone else in their chat that's encouraging people to hit the like button. Gator Girl says, good question, I do or well I did with Mr. Heartbreaker. He was the only person I've been with because it meant that much to me for him to be that person. I should have prioritized boundaries and standards instead of just letting good sex scapegoat mistreatment. Amen to that. Thank you for sharing that. All right. You definitely want to get in. Put a pin on that, please. Person in the background on
Mhm.
that last comment. Star that comment, please. Okay. Mrs. M3, what say you?
I say that, well, creation shares with us that we are the nurturers, women. And as a result, we have the intimate connection when it comes to physical touch. Whereas, you know, as Mr. Radio 100 explains, guys, that sexual arousal can come from the wind blowing. We have a drawn to connection to the person, like soul knit together kind of connection with the person that we give our bodies to. Now, I can't speak for every woman and I don't know their situation, but in my experience with, girlfriends, homegirls that are just, heartbroken and sex is just sex, usually it's because that first one that was everything to them broke their heart. And then they just didn't care anymore about their body, about their whatever. They were just like, whatever, I'll be as hard as a guy. And sex just became sex to them. Whereas I think in general, we all start out with that connection and wanting that to be special to us, the first time to be special, the first person, that we decide to have sex with to be someone that we see ourselves with, having a future with. So that's just my personal opinion on it, based on what I've seen in my lifetime.
Alrighty, thank you. And last but most definitely not least, Miss Queen herself. What say you, madam? I know you got something to bring to this.
Wait. So clarify the question for me again, because I heard everyone's opinion.
So basically, do women have a deeper connection with sex? We put a higher value on it. Not necessarily saying versus men, but just women in general. Which causes us not to want to give it up so easily.
Well, there's an amazing poet who said, "You put your heart in a part that splits apart." I know I'm misquoting it, a rapper,
Okay.
but I think sometimes as women we equate love or whatever with, the V cut, and sometimes we allow that bridge to open too often,
Mm.
you know. So yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, it's like, oh, well, I want to share this part of me with him, and I'm like, but he's a dog. He on every bus route from here from here to Timbuktu, but it's okay. And so sometimes we also can use it as a way to control someone. Oh, well, I gave it up to him, so he mine. So I don't know. I think sometimes we can play the game with it.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like have his baby and think he gonna stay, but yeah.
All right.
I don't know
All
if
right.
I answered that.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So going back to the fellas. Now I want y'all to be honest. However, be kind.
Oh Lord.
I'm just gonna preface that. Just because a woman is liberated sexually, it's
Mhm.
not that she's a whore or a streetwalker, none of that. She just knows what she wants, when she wants, and how she likes it. And she's liberated and she's confident and comfortable with that.
Mhm.
Does that make her less desirable or comfortable, as the young people would say, in a
Um,
committed relationship?
honestly, for me, but like I said, I don't think like every other dude out there in the game. For me, hell yeah, good. I'm glad you know what the hell you want. Tell me what you want. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. Perfect.
Okay.
I mean, it shouldn't reduce the value or the quality of person that you're dealing with. Now, as far as you talking to them and dealing with them, and then you see that there might be into some things that you're not really into, but you might really want to try, go for it. At least just know the fact that she knows what she wants. That's a big thing for some guys, not all.
Okay.
Be sure be sure about what you want and know what you want. And right now, it's fair for the woman to actually know what she wants. Women have been suppressed for so long on the sexual aspect of it, whether it be white women, black women, it doesn't matter. They always treated women like second class citizens. So I mean, it's just like, your sexuality doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if you know what you want, good. That'll be helpful for you in the long run, and then helpful for him too. And like old boy was saying before, if that's not what you want and you get a no, move on to the next one. Good.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a counter question. And we see this more in high school and college, early years of college.
Mm-hmm.
Why are guys so apt to just put women out there? Like if it's a lady, a girl, young lady, okay, she likes to have sex. And yes, she might have more than one sex partner in a semester. But it's like guys just be like, ooh, she a hoe, she going, she'll jump off you,
And that's
but they
that's
doing the same thing.
that's pre-programmed stigma. It's pre-programmed stigma. That's bullshit. That's programming that's been passed on and passed on, and that's what society says is okay to do. And then they push it on the guys just as well as the females pushing it on other females. That's the thing to do, because see, just FYI, since we keeping it real and 100 about everything. When I was in college, damn right I was a hoe. I was one of the best hoes you could find. No motherfucking question about it. I was a hoe. I was the best hoe. Yes, your cousin, your friend, your mama, your sister, the teacher. I will knock her down. There ain't no damn question about it. I was a hoe. I'm coming from a small country ass town and everything. I'm not thinking that I'm that attractive. And the next thing you know, I hear all these females, girl, look at him. I'm just like, oh, it's about to be some. So yeah, I'm knocking them all down, because I'm just like, I will never get this opportunity again in life.
So you
So
just going to the bowling alley making strike after strike after strike.
every damn chance I got, study for a test, got it going on like that. go to the library, study and everything. Hey girl, how you doing? Yeah, let me help you with that program. Yeah, oh yeah, not a problem at all. Oh, your hands are so soft, baby. Come here. Yeah. You want to go back to the room? Let's go talk about that. Come here, girl. Yeah. Oh yeah, shit. Every damn chance I got. But I wasn't stigmatized. I wasn't bothered. This, that, and the other. I freely admitted it. Yes, I'm a hoe. I'm not gonna sit up there and talk about it. I think that's the reason why I was a good hoe, because I didn't run my mouth. But
Okay.
you don't go over there and just say, man, I blew that bitch's back out, bro. She had that thing, man, that wet. You don't do that. Shut up. If you shut up, for men that want to be a hoe, please forgive me. For men that want to be a hoe, if you want the females to come to you, because the females are going to talk to each other. There's no question about it. Just like men talk to other men about women, women talk to other women about men. If you want to be that hoe, be discreet. Shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Just shut up.
Yeah.
And then deltas, AKAs, zetas, all of them. I'm telling you, when I say I was prime time, yeah, I know DST. Calm down. Don't be putting your hand to your ear, sitting up there trying to front. But the thing is, though, I wasn't stigmatized about it. So why should you stigmatize that female because of society bullshit that's been pre-programmed in you? Got to learn how to think for yourself and not go for everything that you read in a magazine or that you hear somebody saying, or something that's been done for, decades and decades. Form your own mind about it and treat that person like a person, like you'd want to be treated. It's as simple as that. The things that are common sense, they just don't do no more. That's it. That's my 2 cents on it.
Okay. Well, I see our other fella dropped out. Ladies, even though this question's not directly, directed to you.
Damn, he dropped off on me. I'm the only one in here. Oh shit.
You in the Queen's Court tonight, honey.
Yeah.
You're in the hot seat, but we appreciate you being here. Don't go away.
I'm just being real. Just don't cut my manhood off, please. I need that.
We appreciate your honesty.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Cola Nick says, "Don't kiss and tell." That's right. So, ladies, would you like to chime in? Even though this is not a direct question for the ladies, would you like to chime in on how you feel about if a woman is just liberated in who she is sexually, like how she's treated, and I don't want to say demonized, but how she just put down and treated by society? Does that make her less valuable or cuffable, as the young people say?
I don't think it's something that would necessarily stop, because it's, if it's a society norm and it's accepted, just like people calling each other the N-word, it's going to still happen. But I think that in every situation, the individual has to know for themselves what they want out of life and who they intend to be, because society is going to tell you any and everything. And, even, the decisions that you make, you're the only one that has to live with them. Society can say whatever they want. You're the person that has to live with your decisions that you make. And so in that regard, I think, society's not going to change it, but an individual knowing who they are, whether they're competent in, giving themselves to multiple relationships, polygamy, or even they call polyamory nowadays. That's their business. It's their body. What society has to say about it. Maybe it sways them one way or another. Maybe they'll have someone in their life that, they care to hear from. That's going to make a difference for them. But, society's going to say what they say.
Yes, it is.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Queen.
I'm sorry, I'm critical. I just don't respect women who do that. Maybe it's because of all the women in my life, mothers, sisters, aunts, what I was brought up around. And, I just think, men can pull it out, but we get stuck with the remnants of what's left in there, and So it's not that simple. And I think so many women, even in the field that I work in, their liberation is not necessarily true liberation.
Mm.
It's a liberation of bitterness and hurt and anger that fuels them to want to do what men do and walk away. But it leaves different scars on us than it does on them. There's no way. So when you get used to being scarred up, is it really liberation?
Mm.
You know, or is it just a different type of slavery?
Oh.
So that's how I see it. It's a lot. It's a lot to, when, you know, the woman's anatomy is very different than a man's anatomy. We all know that. And so to me, intimacy is, it's not a turnstile, you know. Like they're the clipper card, you know, they're the token, they're the dollar that goes in, but we're the holster that holds it. So it's different. It's very different to me. And so I don't, you know, I mean, amen, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But at the end of the day, you know, 9 times out of 10, I feel like it doesn't come from a place of, oh, I'm just going to hit it and quit it. It comes from a hurtful, hardened place. And I think that's the problem, is that everyone functions from that space, but who got you in that space? You know, I can't do what men do. I'm not going to try. I'm just not. I can't beat them. I can't, you know, so why would I put myself in that situation to try to walk like they walk? And then I get mad when I'm trembling, bumbling, and falling over myself, but they still chilling and gliding down the street. So that's
Okay.
what I think.
I mean, I will admit, there's some psychological component. There is a psychological component to women having multiple sex partners, and that's something I've talked to with my therapist. And you know, again, that was at that point in my life, back way younger. I've definitely moved on. So, anywho, enough about me. Miss Lola, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, I would say I agree with Queen 100%, just on the facts. And I would just add that I feel that it's, and I'm going to use clean language, okay? I feel it's a bit inane to ask for a woman to say, I feel liberated, because whether you're liberated or not is a different question. You
Mm.
feel liberated for whatever reason, right? You feel liberated. For you to, as a woman, to say, why is it that society doesn't see me the same way I see me? And by society, you mean men, okay?
Okay.
It's really inane, okay, to ask men to now somehow see you somehow different because of how you feel about yourself, when we all come into this world understanding fear and sex, two things nobody has to teach you about. Like, these are two very, like, instinctual things, and you're essentially asking human beings to forego their natural innate nature because of how you feel about how you go about your personal life. You want men to somehow forego their nature because of how you feel. Like, that makes all women look, frankly speaking, dumb. Like, it just does. Like, not all women have that line train of thinking, but it makes us all look dumb when you talk like that, because men expect you to say dumb things. When you say stuff like that and it has literally no basis in reality, it's like, this is the reason why you're upset and you're hot and you're bothered, because you don't understand yourself, and you definitely don't understand human nature when it comes to the complementary gender. Like, you just don't. And I mean, at the end of the day, men have a right to say, look, as a man, I'm attracted to a woman sexually that has not been passed around. And they hold the definition of what passed around is. As women, we can't tell them or what passed around really means. I get sick of people saying that Ciara has been passed around when she's dated very little men in her social circle, but to them, she's been passed around. I get tired of hearing that, but at the end of the day, I can't tell them how to define passed around. Like, I can't. Like, they can't tell us certain things. So I'm not going to fight with them on that. If you as a woman feel liberated sexually and you feel like, well, you like sex, thus you want to have sex with multiple people, that's a risk that you run at the expense of society rewarding or punishing you for said thing. Now, society is society. Like, we have a society so we can have civil, like a civil like place to live. If you don't like it, go on an island by yourself and do you. But until then, this is what you got to work with. My thing is this. The issue is not liking to have sex or having sex all the time or whatever the case may be. That's not the issue. The issue is, why do you need to have sex with multiple people? It's not about having sex a lot and you being addicted to sex. Forget all that. Sex is natural to the body. Why do you need to have it with multiple people? Now, the average human being would say, you got 11 diseases running around out here. Half of them will kill you in 5 to 10 years. Why do you want to have sex with multiple people all the time again? Okay, so now we're getting into the psychology of these types of females, and almost 100% is always some sort of trauma in their childhood. Like, and that's like a common thread with all of them. But somehow everybody seems to think they liberated, when in reality, it's like all you're doing is showing how hurt you really are, because you're going against your own nature. You're going against, every good thing you could possibly get in life as it pertains to a relationship with a man. Like, you hustling backwards, as they say, where I come from, and you think that you can't see that you and other 11,000 females just like you have the same problem in their past. It's like the exact same problem. Women that have not been sexually abused, emotionally abused, or verbally abused by men and have a healthy relationship with their fathers are not out here literally trying to get as much penis from as many dusties and whatever the case may be as they can get. That's not their issue. Psychologically, that's not their issue. Women that have had all of those things happen to them in the past, typically, and I'm only saying typically to be politically correct, typically have the same problem with just not caring who they have sex with or wanting to have sex with as many people as they want. So you can call it liberation if you want, honestly, but that's you swim at your own risk, and the only person that's going to drown is you out here, because men don't care, and frankly speaking, on what ground should they care?
Hey, I want to tell you, I had a boyfriend, and he told me, he was like, we were talking about a mutual friend. I think this was in high school, whatever else, and this girl had a long history or reputation of just splitting on everything that walked by her. And he was like, it's really sad because we've me and him have both tried to talk to her. Hey, slow down, even him. And he was like, the same dudes that are encouraging that behavior are the same dudes that will pass her up to wife her. They're not going to see her as long-term person, like a long-term committed person in a relationship. They just see her as a good time gal, and that's what she's going to always be, because when body count comes in, a lot of time men run from it. And this is a dude. This is what a young guy was saying, so I think we also got to be mindful of, there are stereotypes. There will always be double standards. That's just the way we were created. But, you trying to be the mold to break it, at what cost?
Okay.
Because there's a cost to everything.
Well, that's why I try to tell men to try to educate yourself. Don't sit up here and be the same type of man that every other man is that's out here, because that's not fair to the female. Like I said, now in certain instances, you have females that want the men to be adapt and know what they're doing sexually. So yeah, it's expected for the man to go out and, you know, plow the field, seed, and, you know, grow, conquer this, that, and the other. But, you know, so that way he can be proficient to be able to please that female. But yet and still, he got a higher body count than she'll ever have. And then, but yet and still, he's worthy of marriage and she's not.
Mhm.
That's BS. You know, let's call it what it is.
It
You know,
is, but that's, I mean, I'm not saying either one is right, but what I'm saying is that they're the ones who are choosing us. So, you know,
yeah, I
as a
understand.
woman, it's unfortunate because yeah, like I said, the same dude that wants you to spread it and get your eagle on every 5 minutes is the same dude that will laugh at you and put you down. And that's what I'm saying. Women, that's why I tell these young girls, you are more than what is between your legs. And if a
Exactly.
dude makes you feel like that's all you are, walk away. You do not have
Absolutely.
to give it to him for you to feel valued and loved. You deserve that with saying no to everything if he really wants you. But that's unfortunate because that's not what's taught, that's not what's seen, you know. So,
Right.
you know, that's the problem.
Right. And you gotta, and like I said, it takes education on both sides. You gotta teach the men how to really be men and not just go out here and just, you know, because I mean, you got guys out here talking about that they done got so much ass, they done got so much ass, yeah, yada yada yada. Every man goes through a dry streak, and ain't no man having a shot of ass each and every time that you look around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even though that's what social media tries to portray. That's not the case. It's just not real. It's not facts. So you have to educate the young men to actually be men and appreciate the female for who she is, not just for what's in between the legs. It's not all about that. The urge is strong. I understand that. But you've got to break the cycle and really educate them back to really what's going on out there. Because see, you sitting up here focusing on all this ass, you missing out on real estate, you missing out on money, you missing out on this. Everything else is coming down here. All these other people are doing this. Watch what the government is doing. There's way more to pay attention to than a piece of ass. As
Yeah.
long as you live your life and handle your business, a woman is going to find you attractive, or you'll have the opportunity to meet a woman. But otherwise, you need to, especially nowadays, you really got to pay attention to what's going on around you. And that's what I'm teaching my kids. I have a son and a daughter. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. Damn the ass. You know, you'll have plenty of time to actually sit, socialize, and be with some friends, and then boyfriend, girlfriend, this, that, and the other. You need to watch your behind, you know, because this country is sliding down a slippery slope real quick.
And Mr.
But
Radio 100, to your points you made earlier, we've talked about on knowledge relationships, just the fact that even biblically speaking, the man holds the legacy.
mm-hmm.
And so for him, if he has multiple wives, which in the scriptures, almost every scripture, even in the New Testament, there's multiple wives,
Right.
his legacy is continuing. His name, the last name, stays the same. Whereas if the woman gives herself to multiple men, now the legacy is split. And in some cases, it was because the brother died. And so now the younger brother has to take that woman on to wife because they didn't have kids. And now to continue his legacy, that brother has to provide a child for her, for his brother's property, and his property becomes that kid's property, all that kind of stuff. Even to this day, which in our country, United States, we call it patriotism, patriot.
Patriarchy. Yeah.
Thank you. Male dominant possessions. Like you hold the land, you hold the title, you hold this. That's, I think, why society doesn't frown upon men having multiple relationships, because it's just established that way, even biblically.
Exactly.
But and I mean that was, you know, something that came to mind when you were speaking. And then Miss QB, when you were speaking, I'm curious about you, because you said you lived that life, right? You came through that, and you are a new person in your older age, and that you had counselors that helped you and walked you through things. Can you share with us some of the things that were your, you know, life, like what led you to that, wanting to have multiple partners? Or did you want to have multiple partners, or did you just look back and realize, oh wow, okay, this year I've had this many partners? You know what I mean? Like, was it a planned thing, or was it something you just realized about yourself and decided to change?
Sorry. So when I was 14, my mom got real sick. I had a debilitating stroke, and it was just her and I. And I had to take on a lot of responsibility real fast. My dad was not in the picture. I knew of him. We communicated via letter because there was no internet back then. So we either talked on the phone or wrote letters to each other with a typewriter, mind you. Um, and so, but it was very limited and far and few between. There were some issues with the family that I was raised with because I didn't live with my mom full time. So anyway, there was a lot of tension and trauma. It's just a lot of stuff, and it's like at the age of 14, a lot of stuff just happened in my life. And so when I was 15, I had my first encounter, and it's like that just kind of opened this floodgate for me. And it wasn't something that was sex wasn't enjoyable in that sense. It was almost something to do. It was an escape. It was like I didn't even think about it. Like I had well high school boyfriends, if you wouldn't even want to call it that. Um, so I may have been with one guy here, this many months or whatever, one guy there. Um, but as I got older, 16, 17, 18, 19, it just increased. And it was just again something to do and a way to escape. It was a way to escape. And I had told myself that I was okay with the way things were going. It's like I made myself feel like I'm cool with this. Even though I desired to have a steady boyfriend. Um, Later on, I felt like, okay, I'm ready to get married. But before I got married, it was like, I want a steady relationship. There was one guy that I was really into. Of course, he was in another relationship, but he and I spent time together. And it wasn't even about the sex. It was the intimacy that we shared. But unfortunately, he was just not leaving his girlfriend. No matter what kind of trouble they were having, he just wasn't leaving her. Me being younger, just whatever, just clueless and dumb as a bag of rocks, as Mr. Radio would say. Um, it wasn't until I had a real come to Jesus meeting with myself. It's okay. This is no longer serving me. This is no longer feeding my soul. I am ready for a husband. And so I started to physically and spiritually clean my house. Like physically got a broom and mop and started cleaning my house and just praying the whole time. And so within a year, I met the man who I eventually married. Of course, the relationship was, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I told myself that I was cool and I was okay with what I was doing and who I was with. And I had the fly by nights, the one night stand, literally the one night stands. Just met a guy and, got it on. Like, so, of course, I'm not proud of that, but I can't go back and change it. What I do is I use my experience to talk to young ladies about you can wait for sex. There's more to sex than the physical act, so yeah. And then, of course, I had a baby at 19. Definitely wasn't ready for that. So all that tied into it. Yeah, it was. But for me, to answer your original question, it was dealing with the upset in life at the age of 14. Family dysfunction, mother was sick, taking on a lot of responsibility. My dad was never really around. And the time he was around, I was a baby, several months old. So I don't have any memories of just being loved and nurtured by a man. My uncles were not around. My male cousins were not nurturing and things of that. So I never had the experience of having a loving man, a nurturing man. And so, yeah, I turned to that. You're on, you're on mute.
Sorry. Um, when you got married, was it hard for you or easy for you to compartmentalize ex-sex partners from comparing them to your husband? Do you feel like that got in the way, like your experience prior to him got in the way of your intimacy?
No, 'cause I put my all into my marriage. Unfortunately, my husband had his own personal demons to deal with, which caused our marriage to break down. Um, so, but no, I was able to put all of that behind me. Blocking people, not communicating. If someone tried to reach out from the past, I'm married now, move on with your life. I really gave it a good shot. I really did. And so my marriage started breaking down, and again, that's another. And I've talked about that on my podcast on several episodes. So yeah,
Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for
and I
opening up.
feel like being transparent can help somebody else. You know, um, I'm never one to shame anybody for anything because I know where God has brought me from. I know the things that I've done. Um, yeah, adultery, yeah, done that. Only thing I haven't done is same sex, same gender. So, and that doesn't make me any better than anybody else. That's just something I haven't done. Um,
No, there's nothing wrong with you sharing that information, and at least you're doing what you can to reach back and actually help the younger people. So I mean, that's awesome. And just speaking on when you were talking about you were dealing with um your wedding and all of that stuff, and you were trying to give all of your intimacy and all of that stuff, but your husband on the other hand had a different view on it and stuff like that. I, the one thing that the reason why I always say educate yourself, as far as men, really educate yourself past the point of what society is teaching you, is because I see the way that black men were brought up when I was coming up. So like I said, I'm a 70s baby. So I saw your daddy wasn't the type to sit up there and hold you and coddle you and tell you that you can do it. Your daddy was just like, get your ass up and get that shit done, boy. Man up, do
yeah,
this. There ain't no crying, there ain't no emotion. You show emotion, you showing weakness.
The
So
opposite of how they treated their girls, right?
with the girls, oh, that's my baby girl right there. Oh, give her whatever she want. Give her get her that thing right there, boy. Give her that. But the thing is, they treat the daughters a certain way. Sometimes the pain is so bad because, see, I'm not gonna lie, my daddy, God rest his soul, he got his ignorant ass ways from my grandmother.
oh,
My grandmother and him acted just alike.
wow.
And sometimes, you can see some hateful stuff come out their mouth, and you just like, Daddy, you really let that shit come out your mouth? For real? All right, my nigga. All right, that's cool.
So we will go say that word
So,
on.
but that's the thing, and then that's where I really started thinking like, okay, because my daddy would want me to do certain things, and I'm just like, why I want to do that? What I want to do that for? He's like, you got to compete and you got to you number one. I'm just like, I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with that. I don't want to do that. No. So if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. If it's something that I'm passionate about, I'm going to jump in it all the way around. But if it's not something that I'm interested in, you can tell me to do it all day long. I'm going to look at your ass like you're crazy.
So silly.
But I mean, that's the whole thing of it. Educate yourself past the point. My dad's name was RC. You had the RC, LC, WC, where the men had two names. You see what I'm saying? They weren't raised to understand how to be a loving husband to your wife. They was trained to get out there in that damn field, go out there, do what you got to do. Like I said, I was from a small country town, so you get
Me
out there
from
in
the
that
country
field,
town.
you deal with the cows, you deal with the horses, you deal with the chickens. You go out there, slaughter that pig, put that pig out there in that damn smokehouse, get your ass back in there. All right, your woman want to see you about something, make you a baby real quick, kick her ass to the curb. All right, you done cook, you done cook, you done cook. Everybody go to church. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
That
even true. That's even true of dads who had both mom and dad, right? Like
yeah.
my
Oh,
grandpa had two families. One was down the street from the other, and I mean my aunties and them still alive to this day, so I won't speak much on it. But um, yeah, my dad was raised with a mom and a dad, but he also had siblings down the street from their
hmm
house, growing up. So
Now, check it out. Here's the unusual circumstance, and Q can speak to it because where she was brought up, we from the crib, Mariana. But we from the same place. We had black educators, black
wow.
superintendents,
Okay.
black principals. 99.9% of the teachers that I had from kindergarten going all the way through to college, I've only had 5 white teachers.
Wow.
yeah,
Only
for
5.
me that changed
Oh,
when we moved to Cali.
you
But
know,
yeah, growing up, I had that too when I was little.
yeah. So I mean, I'm used to seeing what black people do. Mama was a high school librarian. Daddy was a math teacher and a principal, and then after that, he was doing taxes. I had mama and daddy in the house, little sister, grandmother, grandfather on daddy's side, grandmother and auntie on my mama's side. Had everybody there, but you still see the ignorance that is somewhat in there. I saw the way that my dad and his brothers and stuff sometimes would kind of like have a little quarrel or a disagreement. It's up to the men to change it. The women, of course, are going to help, but it's up to the men to actually change the status quo. If you really want it to be fair and honest and balanced, it's up to us to do it. As long as they still have the ignorant stigma that's still out there and everything, nothing's going to change. So yeah, the women are going to keep fighting and doing what they got to do, and I'm going to keep backing them because we ain't got no choice. Because it's not fair for them to have to go through all of this BS, and this is supposed to be America. Well, it's white man's America. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Y'all dipping into my next topics.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna quit running my mouth.
All right. I don't know what.
You want me to go? I can go ahead on. I can leave.
No, I need you to stay. We got more. We still got 2 more sections to get through.
Oh, all right. My
And
bad.
we're already an hour in. No.
All right.
All right. I appreciate everybody. And look, we at the end we'll do a last call, and you all can say whatever you want about whatever we have discussed. So this is not the end of the sex topic, but we're gonna move on.
Mhm.
And so here go a little more of sober karaoke. I'm gonna do one line. What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Woo! Okay, that's it. That's all. That's all.
There you is. Beautiful voice.
That's all y'all get. So now we're gonna talk about love. Alrighty. How do you define love? I mean, people define love in all kind of ways. Mr. Radio, we're gonna go ladies first this time around. How do you define love, Miss Lola? Or do you even believe in the concept of love? I should ask that question.
I don't necessarily say, well, believe in love, because love is such a subjective term. As you can tell, many people have different definitions of it. But I'll say this: the way I personally view love is connection.
Okay.
And when I'm connection, I mean genuine connection, which goes above the 3D world, into the ethereal and spiritual plane. I do feel that love is a actual phenomena in physics. However, it's very misunderstood because, as we say, we don't choose who we love. But I feel that's because love is something that transcends space and time. So why you love someone has a lot to do with, let's say, dimensions you don't have access to in your conscious mind at this time. But there is a connection there. However, my father taught me when I was growing up that love is a choice, and it's an action word, it's a verb. So you can say you love someone, but if you just say that, but you're not saying that from a position of things that were physically done or are done, it's you literally lying to fit in.
Okay.
And I've never used that word love mistakenly when I didn't feel it or when I didn't see it. So I agree with my dad in that, for what we interpret that to mean in, let's say, a social sense. Yeah, love is what you do, is what you don't do that out of respect, out of humility. It's what you do out of your responsibility or your ability to respond to a need of someone. So, when we say, well, I don't have sex with people I don't love, or vice versa, one has to question, well, what is your connection to this person that you're having sex with? Because love is something that it's deep. So, if true sex, okay, true reproduction is needed to make love, then a lot of people are not loving anyone, let alone themselves, and they're not making love. And whatever they call themselves doing, that is something that you can equate to maybe the animal kingdom, but it's definitely not love. But I'm not one to judge. But like I said, it's an abstract term. But that's the way I'm at with it, generally speaking.
Okay. Thank you, Queen. Okay. Maybe.
Give me a
Okay.
minute. Give me a minute. That's
Okay.
a very deep question.
Okay. Mrs. M3.
I agree with Lola. Love is an action. It's action. It's if you don't see it, if it's not shown, then it's hard to feel it. In the scripture, it talks about love being patient, kind. It doesn't envy, doesn't boast. And so, in the presence of those things is the absence of love.
Okay.
And so, I do believe that love exists. And in relationships, when it's not shown, that's when, arguments happen and people get frustrated with each other, divorces happen, things like that. Because it's an action. It's an action word, not
Okay.
just a feeling. You're the receiver of the love that's shown feels it, and vice versa. But I think it's not just a feeling. If it's not shown, how can you feel it?
Okay. Thank you. And Mr. Radio.
Well, love in this particular case, I agree with everything that the ladies have said. It is an action word. You can choose to love and choose not to love. You can love and then fall out of love. But the things that are within love are the things that are key: communication, understanding, compassion. You have to be able to do these things to really establish the feeling of love. It's not just one thing that's
Okay.
all encompassing, because you can love somebody to death, but then you can have some toxic ass ways. So if
Ooh.
it's true, it can be toxic. You have to be loving, you have to be understanding, you have to be compassionate, and you have to be willing to communicate. If you're not willing to do these things within the relationship, what you call as love, or that spiritual love, or that thing of love that you feel that you supposed to have with this person, is going to diminish, if it was even there to begin with. Love
Okay.
requires time. Love requires growth. You have to grow with that person. You can automatically feel some type of I don't know what the correct word would be in this particular case. You feel a certain something for somebody when you first meet them, like, oh wow, he's so amazing. And you start creating your own vision of love from that particular aspect. But it's a lot more than that. It's something that you cherish, and it's something that when you lose it, you gonna wish that you never lost it. It's a monster.
You've been reading my notes because I swear you asked me my questions. It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. I think. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not.
No,
I use my brain. I know I'm not supposed to. I tell you what. I'm gonna talk like this for the rest of the show. Yeah. Yeah.
don't do
No.
that. Please don't do that.
Yeah. We take the
Yeah,
football and run down the football field. Yeah.
you sound
Yeah.
like Eddie Murphy and
Yeah.
doing
Some beer. Yeah. I
please.
like beer. Beer is good. Beer is real good. Sure is.
Don't do that. Do not dumb yourself down, please.
Y'all some pretty women. I swear. Y'all beautiful. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
stop talking. Okay, the next question is,
Oh, I
can
wanted to
you?
answer real quick.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Queen. Okay.
No, it's fine. I think well, I think everyone hit it on the nail as far as different aspects of it. When I visualize, or because I'm a very visual person, love is meeting up, and holding hands and walking down the street. Now, I didn't say the curb was even, the sidewalk may have some holes on one side. Someone may be walking a little slow, their shoes ain't tied, so it's walking with someone and getting through the obstacles of life
Okay.
with each other. And that's what love is to me. It's
Mhm.
not perfect, it's not always pretty, it's not always equal,
Mhm.
it's not always fair, it's not always, yeah. Sometimes you're next to each other, sometimes one's behind each other, one next time that y'all on different blocks, but y'all still walking down that same road, holding hands.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
So I think it's just the willingness to um remember. I think it's always remembering what parts of that person drew you to them in the first place,
Okay.
because looks go, health goes, what it's so much more than just what's on the outside. And I think that's the problem with, I think, a lot of relationships, and I think a lot of marriages. So I think why the
Yeah.
divorce rate is so high is because people got
Huge.
so focused on that new car smell. They
Yeah.
never popped the hood and understood that
Ah, I
there was
like that.
holes and all kind of stuff wrong with the battery, and holes in the fuel gate, the
Yeah.
coolant got a link. Like
Yeah.
you gotta pop that hood, and you really gotta look at what's really in the engine. Most engines are ugly, like they're not pretty. Like the car looks good, but that engine ain't, and looks like trash,
Queen Forever
so
2K, you my nigga if you don't get no bigger. I love that analogy. You my nigga if you don't get no bigger. I love it.
Oh God.
Ow! I like
yeah.
that.
So I think that's it. I think people grow out of wanting to put in the work. Like I remember being in a couple, like, marriage counseling before I got married. And, I was with this lady, for therapy. And, to me, she had no relatability, but
Mm.
that's why I liked going to her. To me, she looked like a gnome. You know what a gnome is?
Those little
Okay.
garden things with the
Yes,
pointy.
yes. But she was very gentle and very blunt, very honest. And she said to me and my significant other, "You guys are in a good place." And we were like, "What the hell? Really?" Like, and she was like, "Yeah." She said, "You know why?" She said, "Because there's no facade."
Mm.
She said, "You guys are dealing with things that now that people don't even talk about till 10, 12 years into the marriage. 3 kids, a job loss, mortgage or foreclosure." And then they wake up one day and they look at the person, they say, "Who are you?" Because they wanted a fantasy world for so long. She said, I said, and then my partner said, "Fantasy Island don't live here." Like,
Mm.
what? But and it's true. It's like, it's not always going to be bed roses, and you know but if we argue today, if we can laugh and joke and laugh, cry or whatever, that night or tomorrow, that's a good thing. so what? We argued and yelled and went off. We can laugh today. So
Okay.
that's the whole point.
Okay. Well, that kind of leads to another question. Um, will love or being in love, whatever you want to call it, make you think twice before hurting your partner? And before we answer, knowledge relationship says them little women came with big wisdom. Look, don't be hate my ladies. They know what they talking about. Okay, we
Is
got.
that Mr. M3 sipping on that Robitussin? Put it down. Put it down.
All right, so Mr. Radio, since you are the our token man here, you're the brave one of the night.
Token, really? All right, that's cool.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's a wrong choice of word. That is a very wrong choice of word.
It's
You
all good.
are our only man here tonight, brave enough to sit in the Queen's Court. Um, will love make you think twice before hurting your partner?
The It's not love that should make you think twice about hurting your partner, period. Number one, if you're just a normal human being, you're not supposed to want to reach out and try to hurt anybody at all. Let's get that straight across the front. And then number two, when you start talking about love ain't even there if you're considering hitting on your partner, especially speaking as far as man to woman. Because now personal opinion, any man that beats on a woman is a bitch in my book, hands down. You
And this
got
can
a
be
choice.
heard anyway, though.
You got a choice. You can walk away. There's only two instances where you ever have to even think about raising your hand to a woman. One, if she's trying to take your life and you don't have a choice, knock a block off. Two, if you trying to cause harm to an innocent child, I'm gonna knock your block off. Those are the only two reasons why you should even consider trying to raise your hand to a woman.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no need for it. You have a choice. Walk away. And
Well, let's go.
especially nowadays, you need to walk away, because otherwise, the Me Too movement, this, that, and the other, they trying to catch cats that's making $150,000 a year, let alone $1.5 million a year. So you mess around, hit a woman nowadays, he abused me, jail. You done. Just the way that society is right now. So it don't matter how much money you make. Really don't raise your hand to a woman. But honestly, you don't need to beat a woman. And as far as love, if you love that person, you wouldn't want to raise a hand to them anyway. And then, but they could love that person, but due to the way that some men are being brought up, other psychological trauma and other things that could happen, yes, they could love that person to death, but not know how to socially deal with that person. And then they could wind up hurting their mate. But it doesn't need to happen.
Now, this can also include hurt and other aspects, non-physical hurt,
Oh
such
yeah, yeah. Of course,
as
verbal. Of course, verbal
cheating,
is the worst thing that you can
um,
actually do.
cheating, and just being dishonest to the relationship. As in, okay, you all have a mutual account. Let's just say if you're married, you have a mutual account.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the account is for. Well, then you are dishonest with you all's money and do something that could really affect the other person emotionally. Like there's so many aspects to the word hurt, so many definitions. But
Then
if
there's
you
no love
say,
there.
huh?
Then there's no love there.
Okay.
If you're gonna start dipping into finances, that is for you and the family, and you've dedicated that to you and the wife, then what love? There ain't no love there. You have a concept of what you think is love, but it's not there. And then it's not a man's job to sit up there and try to control a woman. That's too much damn work. Why are you gonna sit up there and try to control a woman? Your job is to support her, try to help her fly, tell her things that she would want to hear, as far as the way kings and queens are supposed to operate, as far as the terms that they like to use now. Tell her the things that she's gonna need, that's gonna develop her, support her, and then allow her to fly. Don't sit up there and try to clip her wings and talk about, no, you don't need to go out the house or anything like that. That's stupid. And that's verbal abuse. And then your concept of love is either misconstrued or not there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mrs. M3. Sorry, I'm finding a little bug here.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
No problem. Would you like to jump in?
Tell me the question again because you said love. What's love got to do with it? Was the song I remember you said in karaoke.
So, will love make you think twice before hurting your partner and hurt in any shape, form, or fashion?
Yeah, because you know the part of that action is consideration, and if you're committed to love that person, then you're going to consider them at all costs, and that's going to be the driving force, that glue that holds you together is the commitment and what that looks like, the things that you've agreed upon individually with one another, and the things that you've agreed upon within yourself, what you want your relationship to look like, because the things that you do, your actions you take will affect the other person, and that definitely, you can't control their response when you do something negative towards them, like as you were describing financial abuse. That's a real thing, and it happens a lot in relationships with individuals who it happens whether they're married individuals or even with parents and kids, when the kids are not trained to handle the money properly, and then they get a hold of it from their parents' account and just don't do good with towards their family on that.
Yeah.
Verbal abuse, domestic violence, all of those are types of abuse, but within yourself, who you are as a person and what you like about yourself, hopefully it's not bringing chaos and anger to other people, and that your internal being leads you to commit yourself to a relationship that's going to be sweet and, to the best of your ability, fair to your partner. It's out of commitment, not just to your partner but to yourself, your humanity. Who are you as a person will be determining factor on how you treat other people.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I want to give a shout out to Von Eric who joined, who says shalom all. Thank you so much. And Von, you're always welcome on the panel. Um, we won't bite. I won't bite. I promise. Keeping it cool and cordial. Tonight we're just here to have fun, ask some questions, and dig into everybody's knowledge bank here. All right, Queen. What would you like to add to this?
Um, I think it's you can't predict how someone's going to respond or react to something, and I think it's very important. Now, I'm not saying it's okay for anybody to put their hands on each other, blah blah blah. You know, that's just a given. But at the same time, sometimes you have to uh, attention to how someone deals with stress, frustration, loss, grief. Not everybody, not everybody deals with it in a diplomatic way.
Okay.
And I think sometimes we can, um, uh, from situations with clients that I've seen and just life, we make it about us, and then it becomes the battle that was never supposed to be fought, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So then we become the target, and we, at times, whether it's man or woman, we make ourselves the target. You know what I mean? Testing, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I think
Okay.
sometimes we have to know that there's a landmine field ahead of us, and I can't get mad at my partner if I blow my foot off from stepping on a landmine when I know that there's a landmine field in front of me. Does that make sense? He didn't tell me to walk. there's a landmine field.
Yeah,
So
you got to be able
sometimes
to read. In other words, being able to read the road. I dig what you're saying.
yeah, sometimes we redirect or we project something on someone that has nothing to do with them, or we're in the room and there's chaos. The chaos has nothing to do with us, but we make it about us, and then we become this where we're almost like we're testing the love levels, you know, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
absorbing negative energy from chaos that's around you, and that affects that the love that you have for that person, or for
yeah,
you being able to see past the landmines to understand that you love this person, but I don't need to walk on this landmine, but you still walk
yeah.
on this landmine anyway.
And
Yeah,
then
I
you
dig. I
blame
dig
them.
exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah, you blame them. Be your because you ain't got one. You ain't got your left foot, but they ain't tell you to walk.
right, right, right,
They
right,
never told you to
right.
walk.
Uh-uh.
So yeah, so I think we can and even in our own, because I think every one of us has our own level of toxicity.
Yeah.
We all walk around with our own level of it. Now, being aware of it, that's the issue. And so then it becomes, if you're not aware of it, you say, "Oh, you don't love me. Oh, you don't do this. Oh, you ain't blah blah blah." But it's that's not the case, because we're so caught up in what we're going through, we can't see the bigger picture, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, that's why I said it's very important. Even like I said, we still holding hands, but he on a different block as me, but we still holding hands, and it's okay. I know we both going the same way, and I think that's the journey of love. I think it's a never ending thing,
Okay.
you know.
All right. Well, thank you. And Miss Lola.
Can you do me a favor and repeat the question?
Yes. So, will love make you rethink, or make you think twice before hurting your partner and hurting them in any shape, form, or fashion? Like
I'll
hurt.
I'll say this right. Um, I don't believe that love is what makes us cautious. I think the loss of love is what makes us cautious in
Okay.
whatever we're doing. Um, like your love for someone isn't the reason why you will pay attention before you speak. It's the loss of love that maybe you, like in your past, where you said something where it hurt someone and you lost something you really value, or vice versa. That exchange experience is what teaches you and makes it where, as though every time you speak to your newfound loved one, you're cautious about what you say. It's not like love itself, it's the loss of love that I feel keeps you straight lined when it comes to how you treat people. Like I know for me, and it's not just romantic relationships, but some people, for instance, have experiences that they take for granted, like sitting around a table with all of your siblings. Like if you got siblings, you're gonna sit around a table. That's kind of normal. But to someone who doesn't know what it feels like to see all their siblings in one room, like that can be a very different experience for someone versus someone who sees that every day. It's like the loss or the not having of something so basic is what has it, whereas the when you are in circumstances where there's camaraderie, you deeply appreciate it, versus people who have it every day, that deep appreciation isn't there. So that's why I say it's not so much love, but it's the loss of love
Okay.
that keeps you in that mental way of treating people correctly. If I said that right, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. All right. So we're gonna move on
Yes,
to.
Lola. Yes, yes.
I appreciate y'all are like y'all make me feel like I'm back in college in one of my upper level classes, but I really appreciate you all's input and insight. Because there are people who need to hear this. There are people who may not have thought about it on the level that you all are explaining it. And I know these questions may seem surface level, and I, apologize, but I didn't. I appreciate how deep you all are going into your explanations, um, and how you're not like pointing fingers and you know making it personal about some. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. But there's just
I
no.
think,
I
can you
thank
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
I agree with Lola. I think the the honesty that she brought with that, it reminds us that love is the absence of fear. So love doesn't make you apprehensive, right? Because love isn't fear. It's the opposite of fear. There's
Okay.
no fear in love. So the apprehension comes when we've experienced something that's adverse, and then we think twice about that pain that we went through from it. I agree.
Okay. I thank you all. And so when we get to last call, y'all can definitely come back with more. Um, I just want to run through a few more questions. I want to say hello to Master Duck Slime's normies. It says Queen Forever 2K. Are you sad about the other queen passing you? Boy, we not for the Lord.
Yes,
Look,
I
No,
am.
no,
I'm
no.
very sad.
okay.
Let's
I'm
leave the queen
sad.
out of this, please. Leave the queen out, please.
I'm sad for the loss of life, but that's all I'm going to say at this moment on that. So, moving on. Okay, y'all. So here I go. I have friends that tell me I can't rap, but I'm just going to say this one little line. And Mr. Radio, if you know the rest, which you should, I need you to pick up the slack. Okay,
Oh Lord.
we going to Memphis. Okay, you ready?
Hmm.
I'm not the type to get involved in long relationships. Taking trips and buying gifts. Come on. I'm sorry, I'm not on that tip. If you want romance, you should just stick who you already with. If you in the mood, you can hit me
You're
on
on
the
that
late.
late night tip.
So we're gonna be talking about relationships, okay? Thank y'all for indulging me. I'll be here all week. Tip your
Triple
waitress.
six.
Okay, first question. Is there such thing as too soon? Like being exclusive and, saying we're in a relationship, being committed. Is there such thing as too soon? And we're gonna start with Armand. We're gonna pick on you, Mr. Radio.
There can be a thing of being too soon. That is where communication really comes into play. Y'all need to have a conversation first and say, okay, are we in a relationship or do you feel that we're in a relationship? And is that what you really want? And then you can't be scared to say exactly what you want. Are you just like, yeah, okay, you think we in a relationship, but I don't want that. You got to be clear. You got to be concise. You can't be playing no games about it because, he or she could think anything. You just mess around and say hi and sit next to him at lunch. The next thing you know, oh, we in a relationship. How is that possible? So yeah, you can jump the gun, but it's the other person. Well, it's both people's responsibility within the relationship to communicate to each other and set clear boundaries on if you are or not in a relationship. That's the only way to do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Master Duck Slime normies, not that kind of tip. No. Okay. We'll move on. Not that tip. We'll move on. Queen, what say you? Is there such thing as too soon?
Heck yeah. Some people blink at each other and they're already married. Get out of here. Go find yourself.
Okay.
I had this one dude, and I'm not gonna say what ethnicity he was. Let's just say he wasn't from this country,
Okay.
Caribbean. I'm gonna just keep it Caribbean. And we hung out with mutual friends for a while, and a couple of times, and I guess maybe I laughed one too many times at one of his jokes. And
Uh-oh.
next thing I know, he sitting on we used to we was I forgot we was at the park, and it was like a group of us or whatever else. Next thing I know, he roll up on me like he was my big daddy. I was like, excuse me. I was like, oh no, 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 we're not doing this. Very aggressive, very, very territorial. So, I had to go home. I told my big sister, my big brother, and they went down the block, and it was done. It never happened again.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, oh, you're not going. And I was young. Like, I was in like, I want to say I was in like high school or something, but I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm not. I said hi to you. I don't even know your middle name. Like, get out of here. Who are you? But I guess I laughed and I kikied one too many times, and he thought he was about to take me to the altar. I was like, oh,
No.
hell no.
You know me
So,
love
yeah,
girl. Me love your girl. You gonna be mine, yeah. Come to me, baby. Come to me.
exactly. Yeah, real tripping. He got it. He got it together though. I didn't
Alrighty,
see
boy.
him for a couple of weeks, and then one day I saw him. He almost ran into a wall trying to get away from me. I was like, "Hi." And he was like, "Oh, hi, hi, hi. How are you?" I was like, "I'm good." Like, ew, weirdo.
You call the squad
And
on his
then I
ass.
then
That's
I
why.
found out what happened. So I was like, oh, okay, he got tap.
Oh,
So
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Call
Alrighty.
out the squad.
Oh Lord.
Throw that
Mrs.
ass
M,
up.
Mrs. M3.
So, relationships is the topic. The question again.
Is there such thing as too soon to
Oh,
say we are established? We are doing this.
that question took me on a tangent because my students and I, we talk about the relationship timeline when we get to the family life unit. And every part of the relationship, you can be heartbroken. Every part of the relationship. So from the start with the hold hands to the peck kiss to the make out kiss to the fondling to the intimate intercourse, all of that doesn't matter how much of your heart you've invested, but the harder it gets is the further down the timeline. Once you've given your body, that's like the hardest heartbreak, right?
Okay.
At the beginning with the holding hands, you got a crush and that crush likes you back kind of thing. You're heartbroken if that breaks up, but it's not the same thing as, wow, like I can't take that back, especially virginity lost. You can't take that back, So is there a too soon? If you're young and watching this, your maturity level and what you know about protecting your body. If you don't know how to protect your body when it comes to intercourse, it's too soon. Figure out how to take care of yourself first. And then when you know how to take care of yourself, also learn how to take care of a partner, whatever gender they are. When you know those things, then, heartbreak can happen even after holding hands, but at least you're ready for that step in case it happens.
Alrighty.
were you asking too soon, meaning like moving on, or too soon, meaning like from the
Getting
moment I
into
met you?
Yeah, like I
Okay.
met you today, and then by Friday we are boyfriend girlfriend, and we're just
Ooh, you like my Facebook
exclusive.
post. Now we boyfriend and girlfriend.
Look, I feel like if you can't emotionally handle any kind of loss, whether you lost your dog, you lost your puppy, you lost in the game, you lost running down the street, you lost your wallet, you lost your phone, then you don't need to be in a relationship. Because that means you're emotionally immature. And that
Okay.
goes for all ages.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to deal with loss and deal with the word no, deal with the word wait, stay the hell out of relationships.
That's why I'm single for the most part.
Ooh, that no is a big one. Ooh, that no is a big one. Ooh, you tell them no, ooh, you're gonna have some issues. Oh my God. Ooh.
My lip hangs to the floor. But anyway, that's another story. Okay.
That word no does one of two things. It either draws them closer to you because they like to throw the chase, or it drives them away because they're like, oh, she's too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a work in progress on some level.
Or it drives them to snap and they take it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the worst kind
That's the
to come
no.
across. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Alrighty. And last but definitely not least, Miss Lola.
I'll say this right. It's a hard question to answer. I know everyone answered really like smoothly, right? But it's a hard question to answer because too soon is based on the energy that's present. For instance, too soon sexually. We know couples that needed 6 months before they had sex and it was the right timing. We know couples that got together on the first date and they're still married 25 years later. We know couples did that and after 2 weeks it was boring. And we can go back and forth. So it's like, well, is there a time when we should or shouldn't do something? It's really dependent on the person and the energy that's behind the circumstance in terms of timing. However, I will say this: there is a general rule when it comes to, and I think Ms. M3 spoke to it, as far as just how life plays out. Because there's a funny little thing, right, that happens, especially with men. It happens with women too, but we see it more in men, that biologically, after you have sex, there's chemicals that's released in your body that essentially tells you to be bored and to separate. Like literally, like that. It's chemicals that tell your body, okay, that's enough. That this is boring. Now go find something else, like to do, or to someone else to do. Like there's chemicals that do that. So this is, in a sense, why we tell women don't give it up too soon, because he will become bored with you very quickly and then the relationship will end. That's true in a sense, but most people don't understand why is that. That has its basis in biology. However, again, too soon is relative, because if that's how it is, then it's not about being young or older, in the middle or in the beginning of a relationship, right? If it's biology based. So, I mean, I've had my experiences with that, in that I've had men that I've gone out with that I could tell first date, no kisses, no touching. This is where I need the boundaries to be. But that was because of the energy between he and I. And then there was dates I went on in which it didn't go down like that. Let's just say I came home the next morning. And I mean, that energy was there. Now, granted, that's not every man. For me, it's only happened once to that hard degree. Everyone else had a lot of boundaries. But again, there's a difference there. There was a different energy there. My relationship with that person was very much different. It wasn't it wasn't a stranger type relationship. Like I met you and we decided to go out and I really don't know you. It wasn't that circumstance. So the timing was very different on that timeline. But I feel like it's very dangerous to tell young people, okay, because I'm 40, to tell young people, well, listen, whatever happens, just flow, right? That's whole thing. Because that will get them in a lot of trouble. Because honestly, young people, they don't have the years on them to understand energetic exchange. They simply just need not to get themselves in anything that could possibly get them into trouble. But I would say the timeline thing, the younger you are, definitely it's set in, just because of age. But as you get older, things kind of flush out. But I wouldn't give that advice or even that perspective to a young person, because it's just too much at play in terms of biology. chemicals, readiness for relationships and children, because again, sex is about reproduction. If you're not ready to be a parent, you shouldn't be having sex. Even if you're ready to be in a relationship, if you're not ready to be a parent, don't be in a relationship, because no matter where you are on the timeline, that timeline can end. And most adults, and you all can attest, that they will feel like they're ready for the relationship, period, right? But then when that child pop up, suddenly they like, who the fuck, where the fuck is, like, I can't be in this relationship, like, just because the child popped up. So, it's hard to explain that to a young person, but to older people, I mean, I would say, look, timeline is really based on your readiness and your relationship with that person. But again, this is something you have to feel out, but you have to be in tune with you first. But if you're not, you're gonna slip up. I can assure you that. And don't nobody got time to be keep going round and round in circles. I know I don't.
No, ma'am, not at all. All right, did everybody get to answer that? Did I?
Yeah, you got
Okay.
that.
All right, so one last relationship related question. What are some relationship killers? If you had to maybe give a list of 3 to 5 things, what are some relationship killers? And we're going to start with Queen.
Stoic, closed off.
Okay.
If I don't see your emotions, because I know you. If I pinch you, if I punch you, well, maybe not if I punch you because you might be stronger than me. But if I hit you with a bat in the back of your head, you're gonna cry. So I gotta see some emotions. I gotta see that inner person, that you don't always have to be tough and walking around with beating your chest like a gorilla. Like, that to me is the number one turnoff. If that's all you are, then that means you can't be what I need.
Okay.
So yeah, that's number one. Let's see. Sloppy, no swag.
Okay.
Messy house. Don't like your mama.
No,
Don't
hold
respect your
on.
grandmother. Don't respect. Yeah. Don't play with the kids in the park. Don't want to give back to the community. Kurt, call everybody B word, N word that fly out your mouth like hi, how are you? Yeah, those are relationship killers.
Okay. Oh, God. Look, that was rapid fire. You had your list already ready. All right. Mr. Radio.
Honesty. Don't lie to me, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't hold my tongue. Never have, never will. Don't lie to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I fucked up, I fucked up. I'm gonna let you know right off the muscle that I messed up. I don't care what the situation is. I'll let you know. Um, have some drive. Oh my God! Don't just sit there like a bump on the log. Like let me see that you have a dream, that you want to achieve something, that you want to do something. Don't just sit there like a bump on the log. I can't deal with that. No drive. No. You guys to go. The last thing, I guess. Let's see. Honesty, drive. Compassion. Don't just sit up there and act like that, you just miss it, this, that, and the other. Show some compassion. Show that you got compassion for another person. Show that, that other people do mean something and their feelings do mean something to you. Don't just sit up there and just talk about everybody and go through your whole thing. Really the first two of the main things that are relationship killers. Have some drive about yourself and don't lie. Please, for the love of God, don't lie. Because the lying don't get nobody nowhere. It's a big waste of time. And, that's just mess that you got to deal with later on. Even if you cheat, there's a reason why the cheating happens. Let's talk about it. Be honest with me and tell me that you cheated. 9 times out of 10, it's probably my fault, because I didn't need to give you the attention that you were looking for, or I didn't give you something that you needed, or it could have been on you and you just decided to do that because you weren't seeing something that you needed to see from me. Who knows? But like I said, just open your mouth and at least say something.
All righty. This is M3.
Um, Relationship breakers, lack of communication, like just don't talk, sit around in the same room, but you don't talk. That breaks relationships. Um, Man, definitely honesty is important. I would agree with that. Um, have fun.
Okay.
Like learn to just be out of your shell and let's go places. Let's do stuff and mutually help each other, acts of service like dishes in the sink, cooking, trash needs to be taken out, like those things, like help each other out. Doesn't have to be a roles situation, but you know it's helpful, things that are helpful, and you see the other person making effort. That's turn on. That's very a positive thing with your relationship partner. There's care and there's commitment. It's not just one-sided.
Okay. And Lola, the question is, what are some relationship killers?
Well, a lot of everyone's first like relationship killer is non-communication, right? Um, but I would say, and I don't say but as in to negate that, rather to clarify, when you get into why people don't communicate, right?
Okay.
That's where the killer is at. Because I think the communication is the ramification, or let's say the result of the actual killer. People feel, at least from what I've experienced, sometimes fear to speak and to say things and to express themselves. And that
Mm,
leads to not speaking up, and then time setting in, and then people having expectations because of time. And then at some point, the breaking point happens because it wasn't built on anything. But the reason for that non communication has a lot to do with other things that would cause someone not to communicate. Some of it is justifiable, right? Sometimes, and at other times it's really not. Like if you knew that, listen, you just, and a lot of people know this, if you're at the club and you just want to have relations or whatever the case may be, everybody's in there for the same thing. Honestly, you can say that. You don't need to feel afraid to say that. If you do, you have personal issues that you need to address before you go to a club, let alone get in a relationship.
okay.
um, Things like that. But I do think that one of the issues with that communication is not communicating with self first, meaning, sometimes we go for people because they're ideal when we know we're not really attracted to that. And sometimes we go for what we're attracted to, knowing that it's really our toxicity that we're attracted to and not the thing we should be attracted to. And we don't communicate that at all. That's like a secret above secrets that, hey, I got your number because you look conservative, even though I'm not attracted to that. Meanwhile, later on in a relationship, you get killed. You get killed because you're attracted to everything this person is not, and therefore boredom sets in, and then you
Mm,
don't do that because that will hurt someone's feelings when they're just being their authentic self and you chose them. So I think the go deeper into the non-communication is really where the killers are at, but it kind of stems from relationship with self and then outward, and then it gets to the communication phase. I mean, obviously there's other things, but I'll leave it there.
okay.
Well said. Well said.
Well, thank you. Did everyone get a chance to go?
Well, yeah, you went
Okay.
around the room.
All right. So here we go, y'all. I don't have any sound effects, but last call, no alcohol. Okay. Um, what is one thing someone can do for you that shows they pay attention to your likes and dislikes? And this is where love languages come into play. And so, ladies first, to round us out, we'll start back with Lola.
Um, okay, it's always small things. Um,
Okay.
and I can't really say anything specific because I would have to give like a scenario example, right? But
Okay.
It's just anything small, because the smaller the thing, it tells me how vested you are. Like if you like, it's certain unique things about me that if you're around me, you know, because I'm an artist. Like you just know that most people say da 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 da, but with me, I have no answer to it because I'm an artist, right? Like it's just very small, unique things with me that if you pick up on and you retain, I know that, and I know where your investment is. And there's certain things, it's nice, but the smaller the thing, the more I feel appreciated. I'll say that
Okay.
generally.
All right. Thank you, Queen.
Look, I'm very simple. If you give me a gift card to Michael's, man, you know me. You are paying attention. If you bought me like some colored pencil, some really unique stickers, you know me because you are paying attention to the things that I love. Simple things. For instance, I'm gonna give you a great example. When we were vetting each other or getting to know each other, whatever you want to say. You know, when I go back to a certain part of where I grew up, there are specific things that I always do. And me and this person had conversations. Oh man, I miss this about being in the East Coast. I miss this about being in the East Coast. So when I went home to the East Coast and me and this person hung out, the first thing they did was went to the specific place I said I miss going to, and we ate the specific thing
Wow.
that I wasn't expensive. Not the point. It's the nostalgia. This person paid attention. This was months prior this conversation. So
Wow.
this person really paid attention, and then when this person asked me to go study, they picked a specific flower in a specific color that was very hard to get in the winter in New York, in the East Coast.
Oh my God.
And they gave me that specific flower and a specific color. And I was blown away because I don't even find those flowers in that color in the East Coast in the winter. So
Wow.
it's paying
That's what's
attention to
up.
details about a person when you're talking to them. That's the whole point. You get to know them, you ask them questions, and you do the things that they love, not necessarily that you want to do. This person sat through what was it? What did we see? Um we saw the Glenda, a musical. Person
Oh.
hates musicals. They hate singing in movies. This person sat through it twice
Oh, wow.
just because Queen wanted to go. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, they got a twin, uncle, cousin, something like. Oh. Okay, moving on. Sorry, Mrs. M3.
I feel loved, acts of service, and especially things that I don't even know that I needed. I remember when my mom was, facing her imminent end of life. My sweetheart took care of a lot of things, and we weren't even dating yet. He took care of a lot of things that I didn't even realize that I needed. So much that my sisters were like, "Are y'all dating? Is this your boyfriend? You haven't introduced us to the family yet?" I was like, "No, we're just friends." And later on, after that situation had passed, I told him that I appreciated that he did that. And he says a lot of people do things out of trying to, date someone, but this is just me. This is how I've always been with my friends. I hope that you're not put off by that. And I'm like, no. I was like, oh my gosh, like he was just so and it never stopped. Like he's always been that person. And I I really love you a lot, Mr. M3, if you're listening. Just really, that caring, attentive person. And it's true that he is that way with every friend in his life. He just pays good attention. And he just happened to find a woman who that's my love language, acts of service. So I
That's
appreciate that
what's
about
up.
him. And words of affirmation, which I also appreciate a lot.
Shout out to you, M3. I'll give you some slack the next show. That's all. The next show. And last but not least, the man who decided to join the Queen's Court tonight, Mr. Radio. What are your sound effects? Wah, 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 wah.
Did you talk to Miss Lola? Did Miss Lola
Yeah,
chime in?
I did.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Mine is it's not hard. It's not very simple, but kind of like you, Miss Lola, I'm a creative. Uh show support in what I'm doing. Show support in what I'm care about. That's the only thing I ask, because I'm doing it because it's something that I like to do, and it's something that I know that I can do and make money from it to support the family. I'm not doing it not just for me, but I'm doing it for everybody. Just show interest in what I care about. That it's as simple as that. If you do that, I'm not worried about the rest of it. The main thing that I'm trying to do is, because of the way stigma and all of this stuff has been set up, I'm trying to make sure I please her. Like Miss Queen was saying, was saying, like, certain things about her that she doesn't like. All right, if I know that Queen don't like, this particular thing, or this blind being open at this particular time during the day, guess what? The blind's gonna be closed. This is gonna be clean. That's gonna be done. That's gonna be done. Why? Because I care about Miss Queen. And then number two, I don't want to hear her mouth. I want to keep a quiet house. I want to keep it blissful. I want to keep it
Hey, 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 hey.
calm, steady.
You don't need
It-
that part. We don't need to know that part. We just need to know the first part.
just saying, just giving, just giving an honest answer about it. Just telling it like it is. That's all it is. You know. And guys, this is one of the most simple things you can actually remember when you're dealing with a female. Whatever you did to get her is what you're gonna have to continue to do to keep her. Simple. And listen.
So be yourself, so you're not miserable.
Oh yeah, always be yourself. Don't change yourself for nobody.
Yeah.
Men or women, don't do it. Because you're robbing yourself, and then you robbing that person that you with from experiencing the real you. Don't change nothing.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I thank
You
you
ain't
all.
got the lie, Craig.
You ain't got to lie.
Why are you putting that on me? I lie. No, I lie. I'm for real.
Uh, you got to swing the hair with a queen. Where Craig at? No. Oh, sorry, y'all. Anyway, I just want to say thank you, everyone. I want to give our moderators the opportunity to come up if they would like to say something, add to the conversation, just say hi, bye. You remember how on Def Comedy Jam, when Russell Simmons would be like, "Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night." He just keep it short and sweet. So just say something to the people.
Yo, what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's M3.
Doing great.
Mr. Radio 100, thank you for tuning in to Knowledge Relations for the first time.
No
Queen,
problem.
it's good to see you. Mr. EMT, it's good to see you, as always. QB, you're doing a great job. And Lola's good to see you, too, though. Well, in avatar mode. But other than that, I just want to say, this was definitely like a great show. I'm glad
Yeah.
Only Race was well behaved, And
We know how to act. We classy up in here.
sometimes, nah, but I don't mess with y'all. But no, other than that, yeah, there was like a few points that you guys said that I thought was very like intriguing because when it comes to like certain relationships, when it comes like to love, like communication is definitely important, but basically, you want to be honest. Okay, you want to be yourself, but you want to be your best self. That's what I always tell people. Because, all right, let's say you were like yourself, but what if you being yourself was you being an asshole? Okay, you being yourself is you being like the leader. Okay, well, you could be yourself, but be your best self that actually contributes to society without harming society. You know, and yeah, definitely you want to be honest, because I mean, who wants to like to be with a liar anyways? We got too many people that's like trying to lie to kick it. Excuse me, and your relationships just fail like that because you're lying your way to get close to the person, but you're not really being honest like who you truly are, and then you create future resentment into your marriage or long term relationship. So yeah, man, just be cool.
Too much work, then you got to sit up there and try to remember the lie that you told.
Exactly. Unless you have a very good memory and like keep up with your lies. Other than that,
that's too much work. That's way too much damn work.
No. Sophia, hi.
Shout out to Lady Sophia.
Have you been hiding in the comments all night, Miss Sophia? Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, M3. Do you have some more to add to the different other topics, or?
Nah, I just want to make a cameo. That's all.
Alrighty. And Miss Sophia says, I love all the sisters on the panel. We love you too, Miss Sophia. And so I want to thank each and every person that tuned in, that chimed in. However you participated thus far, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all keep smacking that like button and get us up there and get that subscribe button. Okay, don't say that. Okay. I promise I'm sober, y'all. Like, tap the subscribe.
Tap it. Oh yeah.
Just take your thumb and then just press the like button, and also take your index finger and press the red button that says subscribe. So that also goes for people in the panel as well too. Help us get up to 900.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this sip and chat. She says, he says edition of Ladies Night on Knowledge and Relationships, and we will see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye.
All right, later.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Let me go ahead and cue in the outro. DJ.